It is January 17th, 1781.
Welcome to News Channel 8, The Ocho. I'm your lead anchor, Earl Chamberlain. Today's story is all about the tragic death of local reporter.
It is a sad day for all, but luckily, we have a backup.
This just in. An epic battle in northern South Carolina within the city of Cowpens has erupted. Luckily, we have a news reporter, Ken McCartney, on the scene.
I'm here at the scene of the Battle of Cowpens.
Can you figure out the commanders in this epic battle, Ken?
I think they have been identified as Brigadier General Dan Morgan for the U.S. and Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton for the British. I was able to get a word with one of the surviving patriots, and they only had one thing to say, that was their goals, which he told me was to annihilate the British.
Wow, this truly is an impeccable battle that will hopefully push us closer to our independence. What are your feelings about this, Earl?
Well, like you said, Gabe, this is probably the victory that will lead us to independence. It adds on to our control of the South, which is a huge region for our trade and source of economy. Hey, Ken.
Yes, Earl?
So do you think you can get a quick interview with one of the colonists?
Sure thing, Earl. Sir, what are your means in defeating the British in this battle?
To rip their bloody heads off.
I'm talking about your goals after achieving a possible victory.
Well, I would assume that we want to take the supplies and take their capture their men to add to our army. This would give us a larger advantage to win the war.
Thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
We don't say that part. Say no. No?
Well, there you have it. A noble colonist fighting for our country's independence.
Does the battle look like it's dying down, Ken?
Yes, it does, Gabe. It looks like a victory for the Americans, although there have been 72 colonial casualties reported, but over 800 for the Redcoats.
January 17th, 1781, 10 p.m.
Welcome to News Channel 8, The Ocho. I'm your lead anchor, Earl Chamberlain. Today's story is all about the Battle of Cowpens that happened a couple hours earlier.
Sure is, Earl. We received a bunch of information about this battle and how it reflects on this war of revolution.
Gabe will tell you the information.
Alright. The goals of the British side were to take over the South so the colonists couldn't trade. The Americans' goal were to continue the war for their independence and to prevent the British from taking over the South. By being the victor in this battle, the colonists received an ample amount of encouragement for the rest of the war.
To describe precisely what happened, I would say that Morgan's riflemen opened fire down a British line and made a point of shooting down the officers before falling back behind the main American line. A troop of light dragoons, which were riflemen on horses, pursued the riflemen and were attacked and driven back by Washington's dragoons.
Ken is giving us a description of the battle and tactics. He says that as the British foot attacked, the 71st Highlanders extended the line to the left, outflanking the Americans. The Americans' line withdrew, but in good order. The British line lost its cohesion as it hurried to pursue the the Americans who halted and gave fire before Washington's dragoons again attacked it. This time in the rear of the British line, and then the Americans went onto the offensive, and the British line was overwhelmed. The 71st continued to fight until finally forced to surrender. Only the Royal Artillery gunners fought until they were killed or either wounded.
This was also one of the few wins in the South, which must have been a proud moment for the colonists, which is obviously a positive outcome. Right, Gabe?
Correct indeed, Earl. Say, do you know anything interesting about this battle?
Can you figure out anything interesting facts about this?
Well, I guess the only thing I can think of is that there were no cowpens involved.
Anyway, to summarize everything, this happened earlier today on January 7th, 1781, in South Carolina, which is in the Southern Theater. The commander for the Americans was Brigadier General Dan Morgan. And for the British, it was Lieutenant Colonel Banastra Tarleton. I think that wraps it up. We will see you later, America.